This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Alex had another moment in court to get up there, get some attention, and just lay it all out. And of course, because it comes from the mouth of Alex Murdaugh, must be true, right? He wants you to know that it's true. He's very clear what he wants you to know. At least he said that I don't know how many times. I kind of lost track the other day when he was responding to the victim impact statements that were made. In some cases, almost re-victimizing victims, I would say. Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI Special Agent, joining us to discuss just that. What was your reaction to not only the victim impact statements that were made by the victims, but then also Alex Murdaugh playing the victim to his victims?
Oh, Tony, that's one of those situations that he is the epitome of what we call self-serving statements. In other words, you're in an interview with somebody and they're accused of something, and they have this whole string of explanations and of, wanting you to feel sorry for them. It's like the narcissist playbook was what I was listening to.
Yes.
In his, it was amazing. And I know some people were actually felt like the speech that he gave, and I'm going to call these speeches because if nothing else, he is well spoken.
Yes, he is.
He should have gone to Hollywood, is what he should have done. He should have left the Low Country a long time ago and gone straight to Los Angeles. But that speech he gave about, he did this, but he didn't kill, Papa and Maggie. Some people still, at least on my Twitter feed, are saying, geez, that was pretty moving. No, he did kill them. I'm 100% convinced of that after watching that trial. And particularly, I think it's just hard for people to say, how could any father literally, sorry, getting a little graphic here, but blow the head off of their son and their wife track them down in the crawling position and blow them away. And but for Papa's recording, that case, I don't know if he would have been convicted, but that was the smoking call, if you will. And I just think it's hard for people to compartmentalize and say, listen, look at all of these facts, and then yet look at what was done, the deed. Well, and so some people want to believe him still to this day, Tony.
Well, I think it's because, most people, can't contemplate ever doing something like that. So it then becomes impossible that anyone else could ever do something like that. But that's obviously not how the world works. If everybody was just a good, decent person, you make mistakes and such, but you never go to that length of a mistake. And that's obviously, mistake is not even the right word to use for something like that. It's unsettling, and it kind of, reveals a world that most people don't want to believe that they live in. Unfortunately, we do. We live with people like Alex Murdaugh. They're out there all the time. They're out there everywhere. The way that the whole speech was given, yes, narcissistic, completely self-serving. At times, it felt, and I don't want to say it was like a comedy routine because I don't think anything was trying to be funny there, but the way he would pause and kind of look around and read the room and wait for the reactions, which I don't think he was getting a whole lot of. There's a couple people that seem to be kind of nodding their head that seem to have a little bit of empathy for him, but they were few and far between. Felt like most people in there were thinking, I'm never going to get these 45 minutes of my life back. What were your thoughts on those moments?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And what I also, just to expand on that, what I found interesting was the juxtaposition between the true victim statements and Alex's statements. In other words, those victims were really speaking from the heart, but couldn't as eloquently, I don't think, put forth really how devastating these crimes were to them, just because they're not the level of manipulator, right? Sure. They're just speaking from the heart. But if you lined up those two and juxtaposed them, the victims and what they said, as opposed to Alex Murdaugh and the whole picture, it's so, to me, just acting on the one side of Alex Murdaugh. And I really, when I went into it, the other thing that bothered me was the amount of time he was given. I think he should have been given about 2 minutes.
Yeah. I was very surprised that Judge Clifton Newman allowed that to go on for as long as it did. And I know he's about to retire. I don't know if it was just kind of the car accident moment of, well, do we just let him keep going because people want to see this? They don't, but it can't look away because he's giving this statement right now. Part of the statements I thought were rather interesting. It felt more like a chess game than it did like truly, I'm emotionally invested here. I think Newman spelled it out very well, saying, you're empty. You are empty. I still think that you are an empty human being. I mean, especially to the point where he was correcting some of the views, the feelings of his victims, especially saying, it was only me and Maggie that raised the boys, nobody else, when it was implied that Gloria Satterfield played a major role in raising those children, because she did. I found it odd, the moments that he wanted to interject and correct, if you will, at that place and time where it didn't feel like the right place or time to do something like that.
Yeah, it was astounding to me that on this exact point that you're talking about, that he just can't help that narcissistic, it's me, it's what we did, it's I might be this, but I'm not that, aggrandizing himself, even when these victims have suffered so much, showing no empathy really for the victims, at least that seemed real in my mind.
Yeah, no, it was truly shocking.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.